Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my review to One Piece chapter 862, The Consummate Thinker. Now, I really like this chapter. I thought, because there's been a lot of hype around this whole red wedding type of wedding going on, that's going on now in One Piece, and a lot of people have been, well, to be honest, let's start off with the whole wedding cake thing. Now, the wedding cake was designed by the head chef, Strusel, and he did not limit himself in any way when he was making this cake. This cake is the size of a building. It's not even a joke. It's the size of a building. The wedding's altar. So Sanji and Pudding are getting married. They're going towards an altar. The altar is on top of this cake. That's how big this freaking cake is. It's basically a building. And you'd expect that, considering we know Big Mom munches down sweets like a freaking monster. She's basically King Kong, and she just munches down everything. So that's why it's got to be the size of a building. But this Drusel guy, he's a weird character because he's made the cake and everything. That was cool. But he comes out to a musical number and he's singing like, oh, "I'm gonna make this cake. Well, I've already made this cake." And then the weird part for me though was he must have some sort of devil fruit, or there must be some sort of technology he used, because he summons the cake out of the ground, and the ground kind of liquidizes to let the cake form through it. It's really weird. And I'm sure if you've read the chapter, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, he must have some sort of devil fruit ability, some sort of liquid earth ability. Like that. Was it Mister 4, 5? I don't know which guy. The guy in Baroque Works, the guy with the huge baseball bat and the little dog and that mole weasel woman type thing. Yeah, so it must be something like that. I mean, he could swim in the ground, or could he just bury the ground? I've forgotten what it was. One of these guys could swim in the ground, but yeah. So he must have some sort of liquidizing earth ability, and I think that's pretty cool. Apart from that, though, in this chapter we see Sanji play like an absolute boss again. I mean, he's going towards the altar with Pudding. He's on the back of Zeus and they're in that little teacup thing. And they get to the altar, and the priest, the vicar, he's just there like, yeah, he's letting them exchange their vows. So he's like in death and in health and every other thing, all that shit. So they're there saying, yeah, whatever, carrying on. And it was when he was allowed to lift the bride's veil, so he lifts Pudding's veil. She's there all like, he's gonna see my third eye, and that's gonna make him kind of recoil in a bit of disgust, like, oh shit, she's got a third eye. And in that moment of hesitation, she's gonna she actually does grasp for her gun, and she was gonna shoot him then. But Sanji plays it like an absolute boss. He looks at her third eye and he goes, "Wow, you're beautiful," and she claps it straight up. The only issue I had with this chapter was how quickly she went from freaking murderous biatch to teary-eyed lady. I mean, it was so quick. The change happened in an instant. He said, "Yo, you're beautiful." Next panel, she's on the ground. Well, next panel, she's crying, and then the panel after that, she's on the ground like, no one's ever called me beautiful after having seen my third eye." And that does bring about her like small theories and that anybody could really come up with, which is, how does this affect Pudding's contribution to the Big Mom pirates in these future coming chapters? Because we see her past with the Big Mom pirates, seeing as she was born into it, like all the other children of Big Mom. She was excessively and quite brutally bullied as a child because of her third eye. I mean, like, there's loads of other different types. She has like mer children. She has, as in merfolk children. She has she probably has some sort of mink children, we don't know. She has all different types of children, like they're large, small, they have different types of body types, long arms, long legs, whatever. But she's the only one that is actually seen with a third eye, and we haven't actually seen many people in the One Piece universe with 3 eyes. I'm struggling to think if we've actually ever seen one person with I don't think we've ever seen even one person with a third eye on their forehead. So she might be it might be a very, very rare thing to see in the One Piece world. So the fact she was socially bullied by all her friends and family, emotionally, physically bullied, mentally bullied, every form of bullying that you can get, she was bullied. And then there seemed to have been a turning point where she was just like, you know what, I ain't gonna get bullied no more, I'll just kill all of you instead. And I'm wondering if that sentiment has carried through, because she was always kind of like a wild card. We didn't really know which side she was on. We knew she would probably kill Sanji if she could, but we didn't know if that was because she was actually working with Big Mom or whether she was trying to kill off Big Mom. I mean, there's a panel in this chapter where Big Mom says something along the lines of, "You're my child, but you're still kind of creepy. Grow out your hair so it's in bangs and stuff, so it covers your third eye." I was like, what? How are you gonna say that to your child? But we already knew Big Mom was kind of crazy. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, how does this affect Pudding's situation in terms of which side she's going to be on? Will she kind of not do anything? I'm on the side of she's not going to do anything. She's just going to be watching the war kind of happen, and then maybe she might do something at the end. She might jump in the way of a bullet. She might jump in the way of something to stop Sanji getting hurt. Or she'll completely defect to the Straw Hat side, or she'll just stay on the Big Mom side and prove how crazy she is, because we already know she's pretty crazy. But yeah, I like the fact that she broke down because of what Sanji said. I like how Sanji played it like an absolute boss, staying true to his character. And the only issue I had was how quickly she went from hearing what he said to just instant tears. I was like, that was a little bit quick, you know. The other thing about this chapter, which was really cool, was Sanji's Kenbun Shoku no Haki, his observation haki. So we got to see actually Katakuri, his contribution to this chapter was pretty dope. We see him standing at the back of the wedding, and he's just there, you know, chilling, kind of doing his I'm a silent type dude kind of thing, and he's just there against the wall. And then just before Sanji lifts Pudding's veil, he's there and he's like, wait a second, and he sees a little bit into the future using his Kenbun Shoku Haki, and he sees that Pudding collapses to her knees with her heads in her hands, and she's crying. And he says to himself, wait a second, you're not the one that's supposed to go down, it's meant to be Sanji. So then he instantly starts to move like, oh shit, this doesn't seem right, something's going down. So what happened was, Pudding didn't fire off a shot at Sanji, so now they're waiting. Big Mom motions for the vicar, the priest, to shoot Sanji, the guy that's wedding them. So she motions to the vicar like, you gotta shoot Sanji. So he pulls out a gun. Katakuri realizes, oh shit, he's not going to be able to shoot Sanji. Sanji knows Sanji's going to dodge it. He sees that Sanji's going to dodge it. So then he fires off a shot of one of his jelly beans, probably with the other form of haki, coat of almonds, or whatever it's called. Forgotten the name for it. But you know which one I'm talking about, the one where it coats it in your kind of will. And he fires off one jelly bean at Sanji, but Sanji used his Kenbun Shoku no Haki to foresee this, and it hit the vicar instead. Now this says quite a lot about kind of Sanji's Kenbun Shoku Haki, because he was able to discern out of quite a few external stimuli, which one was going to be the one that he should pay attention to really discern what was going to happen in the future. Because he could have been paying attention to the vicar, the priest, and totally missed what Katakuri was going to do, but he saw and he detected the danger with his good senses, and he dodged that bullet literally. So yeah, that was a nice scene. We got to see kind of Kenbun Shoku versus Kenbun Shoku no Haki, and then this also sets up the whole thing of, do you think we're going to get Sanji versus Katakuri in the future? Because Sanji gives a dirty glare towards Katakuri like, bitch, you were trying to shoot my head off just now. So I reckon, and you're free to comment on this, that Sanji and Katakuri might get in a fight. But there's also something that I'd like to bring up, is we might get a glimpse in this chapter, I'm not sure which page it is, of what Katakuri's primary weapon is. He's got a staff. He's a staff user. If you carry on reading through the chapter, there's this one, I think it might be my thumbnail actually. It might be my thumbnail. But he stood in front of Big Mom and he's holding a staff across his back. So this could be kind of an excuse to get Sanji and Nami maybe to team up against the staff user, you know, because it's a combination of observation and staff user, or Sanji's just going to fight him one-on-one. But I definitely think Sanji is going to be one of the people at least to fight Katakuri. So then the other aspect of this chapter, which was important for the story, is the disarray this event has caused in terms of Big Mom's planning, and what it allows for Beige's plan, for Capone Beige's plan. So all of the homies, all of Big Mom's crew, so to speak, all of their kids and stuff, are in complete disarray and confusion because a shot goes off the priest shoots his gun when he gets shot in the head by Katakuri. But that was the signal that was supposed to spark all of the crew of Big Mom, all of the homies, to start firing on the Vinsmokes, to start ending all of them. But Sanji's still alive at this moment in time. That shot should have killed him. So they're now confused, like, shit, do we continue with the plan? Sanji's still alive. Basically the signal's been given, but the defining point of the signal hasn't been committed yet. We haven't killed Sanji. So they're in complete disarray. Now this allows a lot more time for Beige, and because Katakuri's focused on Sanji, this allows Beige to have a little bit more leeway, a little bit more freedom in what he does. He said he originally had 5 seconds that he wanted to get his shots fired on, and he probably has a solid 5 seconds now because of this disarray that's been caused. No one's paying attention to Beige. They're all confused as fuck about the cake exploding with Luffy popping out of it, and about why Sanji is still alive, and why Pudding is crying, and why they don't even know. I think only a few of them actually realized that Katakuri was the one that shot the priest in the head. So this disarray has allowed Beige to really step up his game. And then the last thing is, well, this is to be expected, but Luffy has now, if Big Mom wasn't already annoyed at him, Luffy has attained Mama's unending wrath with his cake destruction / consumption. He pops. I think people like Roger's Base and all those types of guys, they had already theorized that Luffy was going to pop out of a Big Mom's cake, the wedding cake. And I was always a bit, skeptical about it. I didn't think so. Like, how is it going to fit in a cake? You know, maybe just Luffy make his own grand entrance, but they were going to do this thing as a team. Luffy wasn't going to go and come in by himself. He wasn't going to do a Lone Ranger type thing. So the fact that the cake was huge, building sized, and then I assume Luffy with his whole team, Nami and all those guys, they've just popped out of the cake, and Luffy's munching the cake. He's not even just destroyed the cake, he's munching the cake. He's eating it in front of Big Mom. So that's going to annoy the shit out of her. And it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, because I think the reason why I think Katakuri was so the reason why he didn't want to the reason why he didn't want to try and stop Luffy, why he was like, I can't do anything about it, there's nothing I can do, and he was saying to Mom, a crazy plan's about to go down and I can't do shit about it. The reason why he said that is because he knew he would have to destroy the cake in order to get to Luffy, and if he destroyed the cake, he would have earned Big Mom's wrath, ending in his death. So he was like, shit, I'm basically stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I can't attack Luffy because he's gonna pop out the cake and I'd be attacking the cake. Big Mom will kill me. So yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter. It's pretty good. There were little things that I haven't mentioned, like the interaction between Stussy and that Del, the other mafia lord looking dude. But yeah, it was a really good chapter. I mean, we once again got Reiju talking about how the Germa probably should be allowed to die here. She doesn't really want to continue to live, because she feels guilty about all the things that Germa have done. But yeah, it was a really good chapter. For me, I really enjoyed reading through it. I read through it a couple of times. I'm going to give it like a solid 8.5, maybe a 9. The only issue I really had with it was that Pudding started crying really easily. She just went straight into crying, and it happened quite quickly. So that was the only issue I had with it. But apart from that, I'm excited to see what's going to go down. I'm excited to see who's going to be fighting Katakuri, who I think is going to be... it's got to be Sanji. I think Pudding's breakdown is going to affect her position on this whole conflict. Sanji's Kenbun Shoku no Haki has taken a step up, and the disarray for Beige's plan is going to help the entire Straw Hat / Ninja / Beige Capone Fire Tank Pirates alliance, and now Luffy has earned more of Big Mom's unending wrath. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.